Alright, what's up everybody? We'll go ahead and get started here in just a moment. But as always, if you can hear us and if you can see us, just leave a quick thumbs up in the chat and we will get started in a moment. We just had this crazy rain in Manhattan. I think the rain is going to start up back again in maybe 15 minutes. So thanks for joining and I'll be with you shortly. Everyone, I think we can go ahead and get started. Well, good evening and welcome back to Walks and Wall Street. Today is Wednesday, June 26th, 2024. It's about 9:27 p.m. Eastern Time, and we are reporting live outside of 432 Park. Absolutely beautiful building. Now we have a few things to talk about tonight. I think right off the bat, we'll start with new home sales data. So today, and I'm pretty sure you guys could guess how those numbers turned out before I even say to report it. But we got new home sales today, and they slumped yet again, while inventory ticked up. New home sales fell in the month of May about 11.3%. The median new home sales price in the United States fell 0.9% to $417,400, which is still pretty high. For the median priced home in America in terms of new development, $417,400, still pretty high. But again, as we talk about this trend, the number of deals being done, it's just not there. It's very, very difficult to get deals done in this environment. So chances are, if you are in the real estate business, particularly residential, there's just not a lot of deals to go around. Sales declined yet again 11.3% to a seasonally adjusted annual average of 619,000 for the last month. That is the lowest since November. Well, I think this is going to continue so long as we are in this higher for longer scenario. Now, as we fast forward to Friday, maybe the only glimmer of hope we have is if we get a really, really solid inflation print. We're going to get the PCE numbers out on Friday. And as we know, that is the Fed's preferred inflation gauge. And CPI and PCE are really the two main kind of factors as it relates to inflation that the Fed looks to set monetary policy appropriately. Number one, if inflation continues to come in hot, well, maybe we even may do a little bit of a 180 and say, well, maybe we need to look to raise interest rates if inflation's not coming down the way we want. But if we kind of jump around this 3%, 3.4, 3.2% range, well, maybe it'd be appropriate just to leave interest rates where they are. Now, to confirm and to review, the current Fed funds rate is in a target range of 5.25% to 5.5%, and the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage in America is roughly 7%. So the cost of money, or the cost of debt, is pretty expensive as it compares to what people were getting interest rates on a home in 2021, which many of you have sub 3% mortgage rates. So this piece of economic news that came out today, or piece of economic data, new home sales slumping yet again, down 11.3% in the month of May, is not surprising to me, and I don't think it's surprising to anybody in this broadcast if you've been following the live stream. I really want to quickly shift gears here to equities. I want to talk about two stocks in particular. Let's go over and take a look at ticker symbol AMZN. That is the ticker for Amazon. Now, Amazon had a rip-roaring rally day on Wall Street, up 7 points on the day, just under 4%, breaking out into a new all-time record high for Amazon. I'll kind of take you on a little bit of a look behind the desk here. This is the 2021 pretty much fell apart bear market. Amazon's been in a bear. It hasn't reached new all-time record highs since 2021. Pretty significant. So this move right here could potentially just be getting started. We've broken out. This is probably going to run 200, and I think Amazon is in blue sky breakout all-time high territory. Now, I want to take a look at the earnings block real quick. If we go to MarketSmith, go to AMZN, we switch over to the weekly, and we look at the earnings block. I want everyone to take a close look at this, if I can. Look at the earnings and the sales ramping on Amazon again. After a brutal 2022, a little bit of a rocky start to 2023. Look at this, EPS growth, 182%, 425%, 236, 999, 216, and you have high teens revenue growth for a company of Amazon's size. Now, if you look at the full year, fiscal year EPS outlook, okay, 2024 earnings up 58%, $4.57 a share. Looking out to 2025, up an additional 40%, $6.39 a share for Amazon. No wonder why this is breaking out in new all-time record highs. Let's look at Apple, AAPL. Now, if you read the newsletter that I posted and I sent out on Thursday, we talked about the possibility of another super cycle in terms of a hardware refresh for Apple. Estimates are being revised up, $6.60 for the full fiscal year 2024, 2025, up an additional 10%. This could be something to watch here. So pretty interesting. I may send out another weekend report in the newsletter just because there's a few specific things I really, really want to make sure we hammer home here. So if you haven't already, if you go ahead and go over to our Substack, if you scan the QR code on your screen and punch in your email, you're going to receive every other Thursday all of our equity research for free. We talk about the leading stocks in the market, we talk about the debt market, and much, much more. So go ahead and scan the QR code on your screen, punch in your email, and we will go ahead and get started on this, let's just say rainy night. So we'll get started in a minute, everybody. Thanks for joining. Nice, we got Christmas in July songs going on. Real quick, one other stock I got to talk about. So this is Netflix. Look at that. After being absolutely brutalized, hammered, Netflix is making a little bit of a comeback. I think this is going to break out into new all-time record high territory too. And this should bode the market well because maybe we'll have a little bit of a sector rotation. Oops, sorry. I mean, look at those estimates, everybody, for Netflix. This is what I was looking at. 2024 earnings up 53%, 2025 earnings up an additional 22%, with revenue ramping, with Netflix cracking down on password sharing. This one could be in for a rocket ride as it breaks into new all-time record highs. We'll keep an eye on it. Hey, Professor Dario, good to see you, my friend. It looks like we fixed the chat too, knock on wood. Chat's looking good. I could finally read everybody's comments and talk to everybody normally, unlike last night. Excuse me, I don't know what was going on last night. I brought the umbrella just in case, which is probably going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass to carry around because it is a massive umbrella, but better safe than sorry. I've always been taught growing up as a kid. Theo, what's going on? Everyone, check out this beautiful view of 432 Park Avenue here. Just an absolutely stunning building. Now, we've had a little bit of rocky weather go through the tri-state area and pretty much across the entire country today. So I hope everyone is doing okay. I have some friends out in New Jersey that said they got hit really, really bad with a lot of high winds and the like. And unfortunately, we may get some more torrential downpour rain in the state of Florida. I'm not too sure how much rain Miami and Florida can withstand. So who knows? I see Alan is here. What's up? I see Brad, Mark Summers, Professor Dario. Good to see you. Mark, Joseph Hardaway, Lance, Anna. Hey, Theo, what's up? I just started to dive into your book at the office. I'll let you know how it is. I'll give you a full review once I've completed. But just a really, really spectacular view of 432 Park. Now, I've been seeing some construction on the two front doors here. They may have replaced some of the panels, like those big glass panels. I'm not too sure why, but looks like they did a pretty good job. Looks good. Yeah, so those are really the main two stocks that have come back and cleared their way through those major overhead supply. We talked about Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN, and estimates, full year estimates for 2024 and 2025 are all being revised higher. Same thing with Netflix. Those estimates are being revised significantly higher for the full fiscal year of 2024. We'll go this way, and 2025. So the question is, and here begs the question, are we going to start to see semiconductors fall out of fashion a little bit, right? Because I mean, they've gone up so much. If you look at ticker symbol SOXX, that has been a little bit more volatile lately. We've seen declines across the board in some of the major semiconductor stocks. So perhaps as we go through the duration of the summer, we'll start to see cooling in the semis, which have been just, I mean, an unbelievable run we've had in semiconductors. And maybe these stocks that are now trading into 52-week highs, breaking past their previous all-time record high that was set in 2021, maybe those type of stocks will be, you know, having their day in the sun. So watching Amazon, new all-time record high today. Netflix, I think, is about 4 points away from a brand new record. We'll see. Brad's Brain says, I actually just canceled Netflix. Doesn't mean I won't look at the stock. I never been to Cava either. Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. Natalie says, how is your home in Miami with the last rain? Was it flooded? I mean, thank God it wasn't flooded. But that's because where I live, I made sure I bought a property in flood zone X. So flood zone X pretty much never floods. And before I bought the property, I even went around the neighborhood, knocked on some of the doors, and just, you know, were asking the people that were there, introducing myself. I said, I'm interested in purchasing in the neighborhood. How long have you been here? And a lot of people have been there for life. You know, their family's been there for, 90 years if you include prior generations. And they're like, look, it's always dry here. We may get damage, like they got a lot of damage during Hurricane Andrew, which I think was, 1993? What year was Hurricane Andrew? I think that was the most devastating storm for the state of Florida, and which pretty much came through and decimated everything. But yeah, I mean, thank God I didn't have didn't have any issues with the flooding. Oh, Emmett says Hurricane Andrew was in 1992. 10-4, copy that. Here we are right outside of the Trump Tower. You finally have most of the police barricades gone. This is a cool shot because you can see just the top of Steinway Tower, which is 111 West 57th Street, as we look up towards Trump Tower. Now, the other piece of main economic data that we got today, which we talked about in the introduction of the broadcast, was new home sales. So remember, last week we got existing home sales. Again, the transaction volume continues to crater. Not a lot of deals are being done. And now we got new home sales out today. So new home sales for the month of May are down 11%, or just over 11% for the month of May. And the median new home sales price in America, I believe, is $417,000. So a little bit over $417,000, which is still high. Although that was down just under 1% year over year, it's still high. Should interest rates stay where they are, I think you're going to see continued pressure on the housing market, and prices will slowly but surely grind lower. The problem is, right, there's so many people out there calling for another housing crash, this and that, but there really needs to be a catalyst for that. We know that the catalyst that led up to the 2008 financial crisis were subprime loans. There's not a whole lot of subprime out there, and the vast majority of loans that were originated since 2008, number one, much better underwriting standards leading up to the 2008 financial crisis. I mean, let's just say there were no underwriting standards. the standards were piss poor. They were just handing out mortgages to anybody, no income verification, no credit check. It was a really just a disaster, right? That these bankers got away with this. Anyway, not to say that there's no bad loans out, because there are, and you're starting to see delinquencies and foreclosures pick up, but nothing to the magnitude that would indicate you're going to have a 2008 style decline. My predictions don't really mean anything. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Even the experts, even the most educated economic experts, don't know 100% what's going to happen. You can only guess. I think if the Fed continues to leave interest rates higher for longer, we're currently in a target range of 5.25% to 5.5%. What I think will happen is you'll continue to see a slow, painstaking grind lower in prices, but it's not going to happen all at once. And we know this is playing out. If you type !CPI in the chat, it'll take you to the Bureau of Labor Statistics website with the 12-month rolling average with the infographic of the subcategories of CPI, and shelter is declining every month, but it is such a slow grind lower. So chances are, if you are in the real estate business, both residential and commercial, it's a tough market. It's a really, really tough market. And you can tell this from a lot of the earnings. If you look at all the top brokerages, right, that are publicly traded, Element, which just happens to be my brokerage, I think that stock's going under $1. Compass has been decimated since 2021, and it's very cyclical. So maybe an interesting play here, right? Those stocks will go back up again, and I don't condone bottom fishing, but those stocks will go back up again if the market turns and transactions continue to pick up, right? Look where they were trading in 2021, and look where they're trading now. And stocks trade based on the earnings, and there's no earnings because there's no deals being done. This is the Plaza Hotel right here. Brian says, anybody going to be watching the debate? I think I'll be watching the debate. I think so, yeah. We kind of talked about this last night, and maybe we'll talk about it again, right? It's a big event that could potentially move markets. Who knows? I don't know. I think they sort of killed, or to use like an interesting term, I think they neutered this debate, right? There's going to be no live audience, which is lame. I think that's really, really lame. The whole, fun and interesting thing of watching the debates is not necessarily for what the candidates are saying, because that's all scripted nonsense, but the audience's reaction, right, to some of the blows. It's entertainment, and it's interesting, and it kind of gives you a gauge on what the people in the crowd liked, didn't like, and it also gives you a better indication on who won the debate. Because if there's a live audience and Joe Biden starts saying a bunch of stuff and the audience is, starts roaring, well then maybe you would think, oh wow, well then, Biden got a better reaction, maybe Biden won this debate. And vice versa, right? If Trump starts to say some stuff and Biden starts fumbling over his words and the crowd starts to roar, well then you're like, oof, well maybe Biden took the L on this one. So I don't know. I feel if it's I don't know. I'm not liking the whole structure of the debate, but I get it. They're two older gentlemen. They don't want a live audience. I don't know. Hey, Western Mass Dave, what's up? This is hello all and Tom. No debate here. Probably movie night. Yeah, true. You call your best friend for sure. Yeah, not a lot of people can stomach even listening to these people. I don't blame you. Jules, what's up? Hey, see ya. What's up? Troy Atman, what's going on? Good to see you. Serves Flat Trader. Yeah, who knows, man? Yeah, who knows? Yeah, Brad's like, Tom, skip the debate and walk with us. There's zero reason to waste your time on the debate. Your mind's made up as well as everyone else's. True, it's mainly for like the entertainment value, but I'm probably gonna get all those highlights and clips on Twitter anyway. Oh, before I forget everybody. Now, not to sound like I'm repeating myself, I never ever condone bottom fishing in the market. But as we've been talking about, does anybody remember the live stream back in April? And this was when Tesla was getting murdered. I think it was down like 8% over the course of 2 days, down 4% and down another 4%. There was a big Tesla shareholder that came out on CNBC and was talking down about the company, essentially saying, I'm not liking the price cuts. I think Elon Musk is making lapse in judgment here. And this was one of the largest shareholders of Tesla. I forget the guy's name. He has a very big Twitter account. He's a Chinese billionaire investor. And I'm looking at this stuff, right? Not to sound like a broken record, and I'm like, but Elon Musk told you guys he was going to cut prices. He told you that margins were going to be taking a massive hit. And if you look at the earnings estimates, okay, which damn, maybe I'll pull up my computer and show you. Hold on one second. Oh, it's in the newsletter. You can look at the earnings estimates in the newsletter. All of the earnings estimates are quietly being revised up for Tesla for the tail end of 2024 and into 2025. I think it's like a 36% earnings revision higher, with an additional 25% on the back end going out to 2025. That's pretty significant, and I think Tesla stock is bottomed. Again, never condone bottom fishing, but had another really good follow-through day today. Tesla, I think, was up 4% on the day, and it's doing a good job of breaking through some of that overhead supply. So take a look at the newsletter article that I wrote, and I think we should just be watching this, because oftentimes individual stocks can have their own characteristics of how they trade. Some stocks go through corrections in terms of price and duration in different ways. And if you zoom out on a monthly chart for Tesla, right? Zoom out all the way on a monthly time frame of Tesla, you'll see that the average correction duration is around 950 to 1,000 days. The average correction duration when the stock enters these bear markets. I think right now we're coming up on day like 910, 911.
Yeah, we can't do that.
If you scan the QR code on your screen, it'll take you to the article, and you could scroll all the way to the bottom and you can see the infographic that I'm talking about. This could possibly be go time for the stock. The bad news is discounted in. It's all priced in already. Margins should improve slowly but surely headed into 2025. And I think there's a real interesting trade to be had here. Now, if you want to maybe mitigate your risk, maybe you could, instead of just buying common stock, maybe you could throw on like a call back spread position where, you know, you limit your downside risk, but you can really gas the upside returns. So what I would say is this. I would start, and I'm not really a big options guy, but in some very specific circumstances where I see, okay, maybe we can get some real risk on here with limited downside risk. It's a good asymmetric trade setup. You know, I think you could find, I would start to look at the options chain here and see if, you know, maybe you could look at like December 2024 strikes and kind of see how expensive those options are. Maybe you could throw in like a back spread or something. It'll be interesting. I'm thinking if I do this myself, obviously personally, maybe it'd be fun to kind of track the trade that I throw on, and I'll write it up in the newsletter if I actually put it on. Now, it's not to encourage anybody to follow me on this. Everybody do their own due diligence, but I think it would be an interesting kind of case study of how to actually model these trades, define your risk parameters, and actually how to put the position on. So maybe it'll be kind of fun to do that. Here's the Park Lane Hotel. I really wish I didn't bring this umbrella. Anyway. Hey, the Papa Smurf OG. This is good evening, Tom. About time the rain rolled through. It was raining like crazy like 30 minutes ago. It was nuts. Now, I will say, so one thing, if you're interested in the options market, I'd like to recommend a really, really good book. And it's called Managing Expectations by Tony Saliba. And most retail traders, when you're talking about options, they think, oh, I'm just gonna buy a bunch of calls, or oh, I'm gonna buy a bunch of puts. That's how you lose a lot of money in the options market, because most options expire worthless. You wanna have both ways on in the trade, right? When you make just directional bets, just buying all puts or buying all calls, most of those trades lose. You want to model it where, you know, you have a ratio of calls to a ratio of puts, limit your downside, and you could actually build Excel models where it'll define your risk parameter. It's kind of like an interesting plug and play. There's this website called Wall Street Oasis. They sometimes have some free like derivatives pricing spreadsheets where you can download for free or like a couple dollars. But I don't know, maybe once we get up and running the, what's it called? The second channel, we could do some just tutorials of, you know, how to look at an options chain, how to identify the appropriate strikes, which we should be choosing, and the like. Hey Shannon, good to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying your time at Charles Schwab so far. I know, my side of the system says it stopped raining because you had brought your umbrella, for sure. And I have a massive umbrella, so it's very difficult to carry around. New England Crypto, hopefully you're doing well. We've been taking it on the chin a little bit lately with Bitcoin, my friend. Scott says, Tom, really enjoyed your walk and talk in Miami Beach. Cool to see the Art Deco architecture. Yeah, and I'll probably be back, well, fingers crossed, I'll probably be back in Miami for a very short time. I'm thinking about flying back down July 1st and then flying back to New York City the morning of July 4th. Because I don't really want to be in Miami for the 4th of July. I feel as if, and nothing against Miami, I love Miami. I think you really need to be in New York City for the 4th of July. Especially now that they moved the fireworks back to the west side. So I'm definitely going to be going to see the fireworks display, the Macy's fireworks in New York City. We've just made a left on Avenue of the Americas. And we're gonna make a slight right on West 58th Street. And we'll take a look at the main valet entrance to 111 West 57th Street. It doesn't look like the gates are gonna be open, but it's always nice to see it. T. Callis is 4th of July in New York City. Yeah, there's no better place to be, and look, maybe I'm biased, but I think there's no better place to be in the summer than New York. Just a really, really great place to be. And today was so humid and hot, it's like exactly what I like. Here you have Steinway. Almost looks like a Batman movie with the rain clouds in the distance. And then obviously 157 and Central Park Tower. Let's actually continue to walk up. This is behind 106 Central Park South. Well, it's gonna say 105 West 58th Street here, but this is the back entrance of Trump Park. This is my old building. This is a really good building, by the way. We have the presidential debates coming up. Obviously tomorrow we're gonna hear from Donald Trump. Regardless of what you think about his politics, Trump property management is some of the best I've ever seen in my entire life. I'll say it. It's insane the way they run their buildings. It's unbelievable. So this is the entrance to the parking garage. You can see that it has this big gate. The facade is quite beautiful as well. I'll try to give you a little bit of a peek. So 111 West 57th Street, no parking in front of the building. But look at how beautiful it looks in there. And walking past this building, you would never know that any of this beauty is in here. They do a really, really good job of kind of hiding this from the street. But it's beautiful in here. And then that is the exit. Oftentimes with these Billionaires Row style buildings, people buy it for the extreme privacy and exclusivity. So you don't even, technically, if you have a driver or something, you just pull in here, you close the garage door behind you, and you have a private entrance to the building and you never have to walk on the street. Yeah, Jenny Trickett's is a lot of tile and marble. The finishes and the fixtures at 111 or Steinway Tower is really, really nice. I was having a conversation with one of my buddies today, and we were talking about 53 West 53rd Street, and I was texting him. He's a really good guy, and I don't know, I don't necessarily like 53 West 53rd. He really likes it. He says the build quality is really good, the fixtures and the finishes are nice. But for me, it's just the design of the building. It looks cool from the outside, but imagine yourself living in it, right? There's so many angles. The beams are so wide and angular where it makes the floor plans a little wonky and weird, and it blocks a lot of the view, right? In many of the regular units, but I'm not talking about any of the penthouses, but if you're just gonna buy a regular 1 or 2 bedroom, there's like no views because all the weird angles of these beams are all over the place. It's like a very awkward building, I think, but I don't know, I think everybody has their preference. I would much rather live at 157, which is coming up literally right here. This is the back entrance to the Park Hyatt Hotel. If you go through these doors, it's actually an art gallery. And you walk all the way down to the elevators, and you can take that elevator to the private, what's it called? The restaurant. And then here's 220 Central Park South. I think you guys are going to be quite impressed with this building. It's called Alwyn Court. The facade is really, really beautiful here. I show you all the time, but just look at the detail. What do you guys think of the facade of Alwyn Court? Quite nice, isn't it? I love these two dragon looking things right here. Kind of looks like something out of the Game of Thrones. It's like those two dragons and it has the crowns on the dragon. You don't really get architecture like this anymore. And let me tell you, it looks way better and I'm not just saying, I'm not exaggerating, it looks way better during the day with the light on it, but I'll try to get you as close as I can to the details. It's cool, right? I like this angle because it's a good juxtaposition of the architecture, where you have Central Park Tower, this massive monstrosity, where it's just pretty much a big pane of glass, and then you have all the intricate detail of Allen Court in the same shot. It's cool. You could pretty much spend your entire day just walking around New York City, looking at so many different types of architecture from different times throughout history. So the exact address is 180 West 58th Street. You could actually go on Street Easy and take a look at some of the apartments in here. Since we looked at Allen Court, we might as well go over and check out this other one. I'll try to get you guys in the lobby if the doorman is not like gawking at us. Yeah, first name, last name, says I wish Art Deco exterior would make a comeback. I think Art Deco will always be timeless, right? It'll always be popular. It'll always have its moment in time. I don't know about a lot of this modern stuff, to be quite honest. Like if you look at a photo of the Chrysler Building and you look at a photo of Empire State Building in the New York City skyline, that's always going to look beautiful there. Always. It'll look beautiful there in 100 years and 200 years after that. I'm not too sure how a lot of this new stuff is going to age. I really don't know. So here's a good example. I'm kind of glad you brought that up. So this is the Osborne, 205 West 57th Street. I'll try to stand back a little bit so you can see inside the lobby a little bit. But just go on Google Images and type in the Osborne and you can kind of see just how beautiful it is. When you walk in the inside, it's almost like going inside a cathedral, like a very old cathedral. So there's this new building that we went to look at the other day on the live stream. It's the same developer as 157 and Central Park Tower, Xtel, Gary Burnett's company. And it's called The Torch. And if you look at some of the renderings online, yeah, I mean, it looks cool. You know, it kind of has that modern flair to it. But is that going to look awkward in the New York City skyline 50 years from now, 20 years from now? Or hell, not even 20 years from now, right when it's complete? I don't know. I think it's very building. It's cool. I'm not saying it's not being negative about it, but you really can't go wrong with an Empire State Building. Mark says, when is the Torch going to be completed? I think Q2 of 2026. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's Q2 of 2026. This is the main entrance of Central Park Tower, 217 West 57th Street. It's right in the, well, the main anchor tenant is Nordstrom. Brad's Brain says the Chrysler Building is the most beautiful building in New York City. No competition. I mean, it's definitely up there. I'd say Chrysler's top 5, for sure. Chrysler's definitely top 5, but I just want to say Grand Central Station is definitely top 5. I mean, that is just marvelous in there. And it's a shame that we took down the old Penn Station and built that disgusting Penn Station, which is now being replaced because it was so gross. I often wonder if we just left Penn Station the way it was. If you go inside the Moynihan train hall, so let's say if you're visiting New York City, if you go into Moynihan, which is on the westernmost side of the new Penn project, I want you to go to the Amtrak luggage pickup, which is right across from Blue Bottle Coffee, right in the main concourse there. And they have photographs of the old Penn Station, like really, really beautiful photographs. And every time I walk past it, I'm like, why in the hell did we ever take that down? Because what we built was not even a fraction up to par. That's what it was. K4 is the ugliest building is the Port Authority. True, for sure, for sure. Now this is the Trump International Hotel and Tower at 1 Central Park West. Oh wow, Theo's is my cousin is moving his architecture firm to the Chrysler building. Can't wait. You got to send us some photos from his office. Cool. Now I always say, if you go up into One Vanderbilt, and so I've never been to Summit at One Vanderbilt, but I have been to the Centurion Lounge, the American Express Lounge up there. I would just go to the Centurion Lounge. You don't have to buy anything, just to have this unreal view of the Chrysler. You're literally looking directly at the spire of the Chrysler building. It feels like you could touch it. It's very, very unique experience. Because looking at it from the ground, it's nothing like looking at it when you're literally, it feels like you could reach out and touch the spire. It's just a whole different experience. So check it out. If you go to, so again, I haven't been to Summit. Apparently you can see it at Summit. Go to Summit at One Vanderbilt, but if you have an American Express card, just call the number on the back of your card and make a reservation to go to the Centurion Lounge. And that's the craziest view ever of the Chrysler building. Now, I heard they're gonna take down that Grand Hyatt. Let's actually go this way. We'll take a look at Central Park and then head down. Has anybody stayed at that Grand Hyatt hotel that's quite literally right next to Grand Central Terminal? Supposedly that's gonna come down, and in its place is gonna be some big super tall tower. I don't know the name of it, but a lot of people are upset, saying that it's gonna block the views of the Chrysler building. TD's Tom, the Summit is supreme. Yeah, you were telling me about that. I'll have to go one of these days. Sabrina Fair, what's up? Darren says, Tom, have you read Astor by Anderson Cooper? I have not, but I'll take a screenshot of it and check it out. I always like interesting book recommendations. What is it about? Let me know what it's about. But I'll order it. Screw it, I'll order it. I'll buy it. Here we are at Columbus Circle. That guy to our right for a split second. I was like, wow, that guy looks a lot like Peter Lynch. It's not Peter Lynch, but looks a lot like him. Let's walk inside Central Park a little bit to give the audience a perspective of what Central Park is like after hours. The views of Billionaires Row from Central Park are insane, particularly from Sheep Meadow. You can see the beautiful 157 Steinway. that was crazy. Right as I walked in Central Park, literally right as I crossed here, you can feel the temperature change. It's like it's like you're walking into a refrigerator. That's how it feels. Probably an 8 to 10 degree difference in between where I just walked. It feels really nice in here. We've gotten so much rain this year that the allergies are nuts. All right, so you're gonna see the main running path. And the bike lane that goes all the way around Central Park. I really want to take you guys all the way up to 72nd Street, but I don't know what's going on with the internet on the Upper West Side. There's virtually none. There's internet, but not enough to withstand live streaming, because 72nd Street and Central Park West is the Dakota, which is really beautiful. Now, 72nd Central Park West, when you're at the Dakota building and you cross the street, that's gonna bring you right into Strawberry Fields, which is a really nice part. But look at how cool the buildings look from inside Central Park. Isn't that neat? You see Steinway, 157. Central Park Tower, 220 Central Park South. And it kind of gives you a perspective of just how amazing the views are should you live in one of these buildings. Like, you know, the duplex on the 89th and 90th floor, I believe that's Michael Dell's unit. I mean, talk about an unobstructed view overlooking Central Park. It's pretty incredible. Let's go a little bit deeper into the park. We never do this. I think it'll be cool to show you what it's actually like. Hey, Dinesh, what's up? Thanks for watching as I venture deeper into Central Park. We'll go over this bridge and you're gonna see a pretty cool view of the baseball fields. For those people that are just joining the live stream, they're probably like, what? This doesn't look like New York City at all. But it is. I can assure you it is. Now, this is a cool shot. This area of Central Park floods like crazy going under this bridge. The water during really crazy rainstorms goes all the way up and fills that entire tunnel. There's the Deutsche Bank towers. Let's cross the bridge, might as well. In the winter, I can never take you guys in here because it's too cold. But in the summer, we could do it. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see anything over here. It's too dark, but you're now on top of the bridge. It's a very rickety bridge too. I actually can't see over here. Let's get out our flashlight. We'll have a look around because the lamppost is off. Interesting. My phone flashlight doesn't do too much. But look at the contrast between the views. And the park. This is overlooking the Upper East Side, where we actually start off the live stream. Now I'm gonna stand on top of this rock, and you guys are gonna see a beautiful view of 432 Park Avenue, but it's kind of cool to see the canopy of the park against the backdrop of the New York City skyline. All right, this is where we're gonna go, all the way on top of that rock. And you guys are gonna be in for an amazing view of Manhattan. Wow, it looks crazy. Wait until you see this. Oops, make sure I don't slip. Crack my head open. Now look at this. Could you imagine being in this penthouse here? Can you imagine what the view is like? Insane. Now, when we're walking up and down 57th Street, these buildings really don't look as big, right? But once you're further back in the park, these things look ridiculously big. So we'll just quickly, for those of you who are not oriented with Billionaires Row, this one with the gold top is 220 Central Park South. The super tall one, this is Gary Burnett's Extel Central Park Tower. This one is the first building ever constructed on New York City's Billionaires Row. That's 157, also done by Extel. And this super skinny and super tall one with those lights is the Steinway Tower. Just look at how tall these buildings are over the Essex House. It's crazy. And then this one is, we literally started the live stream directly under that building. 432 Park Avenue. All right, let's head back. All right, one more look at it and then we'll head back. It's almost mesmerizing. You can just sit here and look at the skyline forever. head down. What'd you guys think? If you enjoyed those views overlooking Billionaires Row, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. Oh, almost slipped. We do these streams every day starting at 8:45. You know, 432 Park Avenue is really growing on me now. But I think I'll always love 157 the most. And this one is the Trump International Hotel and Tower. Hey, Serenity, thank you so much for subscribing. Yeah, David Armstrong's is up there with the pyramids as man's greatest architectural achievements. I still don't understand the pyramids. I just don't get it. I don't even think the experts understand it. This is a cool shot through the trees. But it's inspiring. I really want to go to Egypt and see the pyramids, because if they could do that thousands of years ago, whatever little problem you're trying to navigate through life, I think you could probably figure that out with all the new modern technology that we have at our disposal. Yeah, you could probably figure that out. If they managed to build the pyramids with no electricity, no heavy equipment, then whatever you're going through, dude, I think you could probably figure that out. At least that's how I try to frame it, as like a motivational thing whenever I'm in a rut. Okay, let's go ahead and exit Central Park. I'll try to watch for bikers. See, now you guys see how amazing Central Park is at night. So imagine living here, right? Imagine living right on Central Park South, coming home after work, getting changed into your workout clothes, taking a jog through Central Park, taking a walk. It's amazing. It was the best ever when I lived on Central Park South. All right, here we are back on 7th Avenue. This is the New York Athletic Club. What's up, Don? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. Let me see if I turned off my phone's flashlight. I don't think I did. All right, we're back. It's almost like we've entered a different world, right? Someone's asking, is it safe to do that? Yeah, it's safe, for sure. Most of the problems in Central Park happen up near Cathedral Parkway. But, I mean, normally, you know, I would just keep my head on a swivel in Central Park at night. You know, just observe, be aware of your surroundings. Theo says I spoke at a negotiating summit at New York Athletic Club. I think you were telling me about that. Did you get to go on this like outdoor roof thing? It's raining again. New York Athletic Club is packed. It's usually not packed on Wednesdays. Samantha Smith says, why are prices so high in New York? Supply and demand, desirability, opportunity. There's so many people that want to live here, competing for the same inventory, and there's also a lot of really good jobs here. So job opportunity, job growth. Whoops, here we go. I knew I should have brought it. All right, let's get this umbrella cranking here. Oh no. Just made it. See, in New York City, it's never just a little drizzle. It's either full torque, torrential downpour, or nothing. Give me 1 second. All right, we're good. Big show getting out. Head into, well, further towards Times Square. For those of you who are just joining, we were talking about a few things. Number one, today, Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN, hit a new all-time record high. I think the move may very well be just starting in Amazon. Also, Netflix is about 5 points away from a new all-time record high. Earnings estimates are up for both Amazon and Netflix. And Tesla very might have bottomed in April. The stock was up on heavy volume today, up over 4% on the day. And we got some key economic data out. We got new home sales down almost 12% for May, with the median new home sales price in America at $417,000, which is still pretty elevated after being down just under 1%. So pretty much all the data came in exactly the way we've expected. Higher rates, constricting transaction volume. A lot of the brokerages are in they're very, very deep trouble. Yeah, David's Amazon was an impressive move today, and on pretty weak tape overall too. Hey, Joe Kansas. Hey Tom, haven't been able to watch your walks for a while. Good to see the stream. No worries, man. Join whenever you can. Join whenever you want. Always happy to see your name in the chat. Miller Rooms says, are there single family homes in Manhattan or in New York City? Yeah, there's tons of single family homes. Now, if you're talking about in Manhattan, most of which are going to be townhomes or townhouses, which are really, really nice. I think the rain stopped. There's a lot of them in Chelsea, a lot of them on the Upper East Side, Sutton Place, and they're really beautiful. You could probably get a townhome. The townhouse market, let me tell you something, is actually in a little trouble right now. Prices have been declining because of the uptick in crime in New York City. People have been opting for condos with full service doorman, mainly because of the security. You know, if you live in a townhome, there's no security and people are literally right at your front doorstep. And with the relative uptick in crime, people just don't want it. So if you want to get a good deal, you could probably get a really good deal in a townhouse. Maybe even upwards of 15 to 20% off if you could find the right seller that just wants to liquidate. And in Queens, there's a lot of just normal, regular, single-family homes like you would see in the suburbs. This bar is packed. Maybe there's another Copa America game going on. I think I was watching Turkey. Who did Turkey play today? It was Turkey and who? Last night, Messi was playing. Turkey, obviously, in the Euro. The Euro and Copa America are going on at the same time. All right, I gotta put you guys down on the filthy floor for a second. How'd you guys make out down there? chat just blew out. Hey, MG, what's up? Thanks for joining. It's New England Crypto. Oh, you're unboxing a miner. Wow. I saw one of your miner rigs set up. I don't know if you met up with that guy or reached out to that guy, Peter Saddington. He has a crazy mining setup, whole mining farm in rural Georgia. It's like a huge Bitcoin mining operation. It's just now, obviously, it's almost impossible for like the little guy to run a successful mining operation. It's only like, you know, the big concentrated mining farms. Since we got the light. Hey, what's up, Kenny? Thanks for joining us. Wow, Alan, so you haven't taken any time off at all in 2024? You gotta make sure you don't burn out. Burnout is a real thing. If you can structure it where you can, you know, work solidly for, let's say, 3 weeks on, and then kind of take a little bit of a, I'm not saying take a full week off, but maybe just a lightened workload for that week. But you really gotta pace yourself and make sure you're getting good sleep. As I've gotten older, I have one kind of non-negotiable now, and that's I have to get, hold on, someone's calling me. My one non-negotiable is I gotta get at least 7 to 8 hours a night of sleep, or else I really feel my immune system shutting down. Also, there's this really good Jeff Bezos interview that kind of talks about this exact type of thing. Some people can just work so many hours and not get the appropriate sleep, and the quality of their work suffers in a major way. And I think as you get older, what's more important is not necessarily the hours you put in, but the hours you are putting in is very quality, high quality work, where you're not making mistakes, you don't have this crazy brain fog, you're not irritable. If you get good sleep and you can make great decisions, and you can really be strong in those decisions, I think it's important. Now, honestly, when you're young, you kind of do need to make a sacrifice and work your face off. But hopefully, once you've done that, you could be in a position to kind of say no to a lot of stuff. But when you're young, you kind of have to be a yes man at work. Believe it or not, you kind of have to, and you kind of should, I guess. Doc Sevens is no energy drinks. I sometimes have energy drinks. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of energy drinks. But I'm not gonna lie, I have Celsius every once in a while. I like the taste. I honestly like the taste of Celsius. But if I need caffeine, very seldom will I drink an energy drink. I'll probably just have coffee. Soho Joe says, I concur, Tom, resting is just as important as hustle. Yeah, absolutely. Because you want to be sharp, right? Especially if you're in a client-facing position where you're negotiating things. If you look all, bent out of shape and frazzled, you got to be sharp and you got to really make it count. This guy is such a you-know-what. It's like, dude, you're driving a box truck through Times Square. What do you think it's going to be, like the Autobahn? Come on, pal. It's obviously going to be traffic. I don't understand that about drivers. They'll clang and bang on the horn in the middle of Times Square. Like, what do you think? You're going to drive down country roads? It's the middle of Times Square, pal. Take it easy. Oh, look at this. This is a big horror show here. This guy looks like he's having some issues with this turn. I know, Dave, isn't that kind of spectacular though? You could be in the middle of Central Park, and then you could, in 2 more seconds, you could be in the middle of this craziness, right? Yeah, the Papa Smurf OGs, people in a rush to get nowhere. People are in a rush to get to the next red light. Now, one thing that was actually kind of crazy today, which got me a little bit nervous, I was in a big traffic jam inside Grand Central Station. That we were sandwiched underground like sardines. And I don't know what the hell was happening, but nobody was moving. And people just kept piling up and piling up and piling up. And it was so hot. It was so hot and humid under there. And people were screaming. They were like, move, why don't you guys move? We gotta move. And we were there for 20 minutes, just stuck like sardines underground on the 6 train platform. It was like people were overflowing on the platform. I don't know what was going on. Finally, after walking for 15 minutes up the stairs, we were able to exit, but I don't know, it must have just been so much traffic. It was nuts. Quite busy tonight in Times Square.
They got a market on that thing. You guys can't be doing that.
This guy has a Diego Maradona jersey. Exit stage right. I don't know if we'll be able to withstand the crowds. So we'll take a little bit of a detour here. David S. A refreshing Coke for sure.
Yeah. Fucking annoying. This thing leaks all night.
Look at this place, Bond 45. This is an Italian kitchen and bar at the Edison Hotel. Back entrance. T. Presley's is a cool night, everyone. Can't wait to be back in Manhattan. Hopefully you can come back this summer. Look at these guys redoing or cleaning the windows up there. Hey Leslie, this is my Marriott. Will be there on Friday. Oh, so this one? You're gonna be here? Spring Hill Suites by Marriott. I never even noticed this was here. Looks like a pretty cool place. This is the Church of Scientology. That's Tom Cruise, right? This is Hamilton, to our left. I've never heard of it, but apparently it's pretty popular. Everybody's corralled in here. That's pretty cool. Professor Dario, this is 748th Avenue. We'll check out the construction site. I'll try to get you guys up over the fence for the torch. Once we get to 8th Avenue, we'll do that. We'll try to see what's over it. For the progress of it. Got a little lightning going on. How's it looking over there, everybody? This is going to be the new torch building. You can see the rendering of it right here. So this is going to be a drop ride attraction. It's going to be something you would see in Vegas. $748. New England crypto says no progress since 3 weeks ago. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like construction projects are taking longer and longer and longer now, mainly due to regulations. Let's try to cross the street. If you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. We do these live streams every day starting at 8:45. Sounds like someone just scored. For the Copa America. Sorry. Hey, what's up, Mark Wolf? Shannon's is against Mexico. Who's Mexico playing? We're about to come up on the Port Authority bus terminal. Scott's, Tom, have you ever seen anyone use Link NYC? I'm not even sure I've heard of it. What is Link NYC? Is that those at those Wi-Fi. There's Wi-Fi stations. Shannon says Venezuela versus Mexico. So I'm assuming Venezuela is winning. Now, South Florida's have had so much rain. There's so many fish kills. I was reading about that the other day, and I never really thought about this. So when there's so much rain in Miami, obviously all of it runs off into Biscayne Bay, and that changes the alkalinity of the water, I guess, apparently. And it kills a lot of the fish. So you'll see thousands of fish, you know, washing up and, you know, floating dead in Biscayne Bay because of just so much fresh water coming into Biscayne Bay. It's wild. Pollution. 42nd Street, Times Square. This right. I don't think I have enough energy tonight to crush through Times Square. Hey, Colton Manning, what's up? Good to see you. We're making our final descent towards 34th Street, Herald Square, Penn Station. Hey, Tariq, what's up? Tariq, I'm sure you saw the news. Jamie Dimon's moving more of his employees to West Palm Beach and Brickell, Miami. So more job growth for South Florida.
It's not really a money line. But I know that's I'll tell you
Romero, thank you so much for your very generous $10 donation. Thank you for supporting the stream. Appreciate it. Derek says, hey Tom, why do you never see a face with the voice? You mean on the live stream? I don't know. I feel as if people aren't really interested in the face. I think they're more interested in New York City, the market talk. So I think I'll spare you guys, but if you want to see my face, you type !Thomas in the chat over there. That will bring you to my bio, where you can read all about us and see our illustrious face. But thank you, Ramiro. Appreciate it. Yeah, so if you click the hi, I am the host of Walks on Wall Street. HTTPS KirstenJordanTeam.com. That is us. And I'll tell you a little bit about my background, if anyone's interested. Anyone ever go to White Castle? Not a big fan. I feel as the quality of the food is just probably the lowest quality you could possibly get at White Castle.
And what is the darkest place over there?
But you know what is funny regarding the website link that I have in the Nightbot? So the marketing person at our company came up to me the other day. This was like a week ago, and they're like, "Who the hell are you?" And I said, "What? Excuse me?" I said, "What do you mean?" I was kind of laughing, and they show me a screenshot from like the marketing analytics on the website, and they're like, "How come your bio has just an unusual amount of traffic every day?" I'm like, "Oh, that's because the Nightbot drops my bio in the chat, and if you think about it, you know, let's say 10 people a night, 20 people a night, click on the About Me page, you know, that drives 10 people to the site every day. So it's just like, it's so skewed, and it was so funny. And the marketing department was like, how come everybody's clicking on this guy's bio? What the hell? I was like, that's probably why. I put it in the Nightbot. Anyway, it was funny. Oh, is that right? Jack CW? Shack has its first location in Canada. I think Chipotle hit a new all-time record high too. And Wingstop, I mean, I don't understand. That company is just, that is such a top performing stock. It's unreal. I mean, that thing just keeps going and going. It's nuts. There it is again. So I think I've mentioned this before. as we're kind of talking about, different trends, different companies, every time, when we're doing this broadcast, there's always people that are like, oh, I think he's on TikTok. I never hear YouTube, I never hear Twitch. It's always, oh, that guy's on TikTok. I think I'm gonna need to look into this trend, bike dance, because from what I'm seeing on the ground floor, it looks like there's an overwhelming number of people. But I've never even had it downloaded on my phone. Look at that view of the Empire. Looks like another concert at Madison Square Garden tonight. Let's actually try to go around the block to avoid it. This new construction is creating so many issues. Serenity, right? Noise pollution. This is the brand new One Pen. They have a totally remodeled lobby. Dave's Willie Nelson having health issues. It's too bad. That sucks. Let's make this right. We'll go by the main Long Island Railroad terminal. Blocked off. He's doing some maintenance. I feel like there's a ridiculous amount of construction tonight all over the city.
No.
Look at this thing. I don't even want to know what's down there.
Yeah, where we going?
Oops, it's starting to rain again. But I think tomorrow at least will be a little bit less humid. So, we'll see. Serenity says I look very young, 18 or 20. Wow. many moons ago, my friends. That was back in the prime heyday, I guess you could say. Wow, look at all these people getting out of here. Looks like a Knicks game just got out, but maybe it's some type of concert. I didn't know anyone was playing tonight.
Really cool.
This is the Vernado project. Definitely looks nice though with all the brand new LED lights everywhere. Yeah, Adam's like it's a sea of humidity. Dave, that's true. I don't have any regrets. I think 29 is a good age. Look at how cool this shot is. Out to the stream. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. We'll be back here live tomorrow starting at 8:45. So until then, we are Tatted T, Paul McNeely, UniJ23, Sally, Scott, music. Thanks everybody. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow.